It's true. When masters turn pro, they rarely get press. Welcome back to another edition of Real Talk with Christian Duke on StrengthAddicts platforms powered by BlackstoneLabs.com and TitanMedicalCenter.com. It's the truth, guys. It's the truth. I covered Masters Nationals for a few years, and I made a point to interview people that had something to say, who achieved great physiques, and who got nice placings. I didn't care so much about the placings. That's what made StrengthAddicts different than everybody else, because I want a story. I want to see achievement. I want to see adversity and overcoming the adversity. And then I wouldn't mind seeing some cool placings. But, everybody that went overall, I tried to interview. I had a nice backdrop. I was all set up. But I also got to interview a lot of other people. And since I've stopped doing that, I don't know. I don't know if those awesome competitors are still getting the coverage that I used to give to them. And it's unfortunate because, when I open a magazine, I want to see competitors that I relate to. So if you were to think about it, it's like the 20s and 30s and early 40s, maybe early 40s, really more so the 20s and 30s are well represented in terms of coverage in magazines and websites, on podcasts and on videos. But then if you were to look at their audiences, how many people would you say are buying the supplements, are buying the tickets to the bodybuilding shows, to the bodybuilding expos, to the seminars, buying the digital downloads? How many of those people would you say are in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 60s and beyond? Because bodybuilding knows no age. Check out my interview with Dion Friedland from about 5-6 years ago. He's 72, shredded abs, separated pecs, great arms, squatting ass to the grass, putting 20-year-olds to shame. I mean, don't you think Dion wants to see like some 60 and 70 and 80-year-old bodybuilders that look like insane in the magazines and on the websites? It's weird because, Frank Cease, he's in his 80s, looks absolutely fantastic. Interviewed him in the DMV. Check out his interview at StrengthAddicts. Subscribe to the channel and hit that stupid bell for notifications. But don't you think Frank Cease is going to get tired of seeing 20 and 30-year-olds on the platforms that he's supporting, on the company's pages that he's buying supplements from? It's weird because we all recognize the fact that masters pros, masters competitors at the national level and that turn pro, they get no coverage. They get no coverage. And look at Marc Lobliner. He just turned pro at Masters USA's. Except for StrengthAddicts, how many bodybuilding related pages have given him the time of day? And his platforms are bigger than most of the bodybuilding platforms pages. It would be in their best interest, even plastically, to offer the man congrats and say, hey, could you do an interview? Even if it was disingenuous, just because of the fact that he's Marc the freaking Machine Lobliner, right? But they just don't care. They just don't care. So if Marc can't get the exposure, what's going to happen with a 57-year-old, say, that was fat his whole life, had blood pressure issues his whole life, was borderline diabetic for 30 years, got into bodybuilding, got shredded, his A1C is amazing. He's no longer fat. He's in perfect shape. He eats smart. He just wins his pro card, and he can't get arrested in a phone booth. Nobody gives a shit. The people just walk by, oh, you're a pro. That's a nice card, man. Take care. You know what I mean? That is not cool. That is wrong. That is wrong on so many levels. It's not even funny. I'm not even smiling. Am I laughing? The reality of the matter is something needs to give. And I've said this before at Masters Nationals that I covered it. It may be that we need to see the Masters age people create shows that garner to other Masters age people and that bring Masters age people onto these podcasts. And then maybe we can see a battle for sponsorships and a battle for advertisers, because the reality of the matter is people like to see themselves on camera. They like to hear themselves audio. You know what I mean? You have a 50-year-old competitor They're going to get tired of seeing 20-year-olds. They're going to want to see other 50-year-olds that probably look better than them, because that's going to be the motivating factor to get to that point. You know what I mean? Again, it's marketing 101, but we need to see greater coverage on Masters competitors, and it's got to be more than lip service. So I propose that podcasts and shows come out from those Masters Pro. If you're a Masters Pro, have a podcast. Get in touch with StrengthAddicts, and I will do my best to get you out to as many people as possible. I know that the other websites would as well. And you got to work these sites, you got to work these platforms. And as you get bigger and bring more Masters people on, then I think that's going to foment more interest in the Masters community. So little is known about Masters competitors, and that needs to change, because your money is just as green as people that are 10 or 20 or 30 years your junior. You're going to these shows, your asses are in those seats, you're taking the supplements, but you're not being represented. You're not being represented, and you're not getting the coverage that you deserve. So the way to do that is to create interest in yourselves, and if no one's going to do it, you got to do it, and I'll help. But we got to change this, guys. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. What do you guys think about Masters competitors and newly turned Masters pros getting no coverage?